easy, was it? They made you work for it.
Oh, they did. Yeah. And to North's credit, I've said to the players throughout the week, this is a team that's in form. What they'd done previously, certainly around the contest, their pressure that they put on the opposition, they're the second best at that. And it showed again tonight. I thought their transition work was really good early. Especially through the midfield and between the arcs of the ground.
So what was the difference? What got it done?
At times you've got to work your way back into it. I thought we evened it up. Our ability to score when we went inside 50 worked well. We just couldn't create as many opportunities between the arcs to give out to turnovers to give ourselves more opportunities. Like I think they had 67 inside 50s, which is really high. It'd be the highest against we've had this year. I think at times we played the way we wanted to and put 3 or 4 goals on, and then we'd allow them to get back in.
So at 8-1, I think you were saying before the game as well, there's still plenty to work on.
Yeah.
Despite that win-loss looking really good.
There always is. I think from a coach's perspective, you understand you're never going to get perfection in any area of your game, but you've got to be as balanced as you possibly can through your defence, your contest work and your attack. And I suppose today we fluctuated between those 3 too often.
Just on the territory loss.
Yep.
It was plus 16 North in the end, they had 27 scoring shots. What would you put that down to today?
Yeah, that's probably the part that not being able to to defend the ground as well as we have, to allow them to go length the chain too often, as you said, to allow them to have that amount of scoring shots. I know the percentage is still roughly around where it normally is for scores per inside 50, but they went length of the ground 32% of the time. That's high, for what we want to stand for. So we allowed that a little bit too often and gave them some looks. To their credit, they took that opportunity.
Have you found one with the wins across the last few weeks? You gave a huge role in the Clark.
Yeah, he did. And I think when you keep Nick to a goal, no goals, I think it's a really growth area for our footy club. And what Will's done and what he's battled through to get his opportunity is been nothing other than through perseverance and resilience. And it showed when you're playing on a key forward with 67 inside 50s, and to play the way he did was really impressive. It's just exciting to see him grow. And we understand at times he'll make some mistakes, but I'm all for that. He's learning on the job. He's getting the flying hours in now, and he's performing really well.
How pleased are you with the accuracy in front of goal? 15-4 at 3/4 time. If you're not as accurate as that, you probably don't win that game.
Yeah, exactly right. I think that's probably early in the game the scoreboard flattered us a little bit. I think our ability, and that sort of is going to ebb and flow throughout periods. We've kicked poorly in front of goals, but yeah, to the guys' credit, they spend a lot of time working on that, and they took their opportunities. Some of them are from where you get your shots and the opportunity you can create there. But even some of the longer shots, the players do really well executing that.
Hayden McLean was one of those.
Yep.
I mean, you made him quite given he was competitive this year, but how do you view his return today?
Yeah, I thought Hayden played his role like we expected him to, and like we probably knew he would, and that's what he's been doing every week in the VFL. It hasn't been always about how many goals does he kick. It's the options he provides. Is he doing it at the right time, standing up when he needs to, and he's been doing that and did it tonight. So I think that's the great part, is the players that we've brought in from VFL level to AFL when they are needed, they've responded really well.
Warner went forward
Yep.
early in the game. Was that just to be a bit quiet, to mix things up
Yep.
a bit?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and part of it, certainly our role is to try and get the players playing consistently as often as they possibly can in their primary role. And when they're not doing that, how can we throw something a little bit different? So to challenge Chad to go and play deep forward, he has speed and power and can give a different look, and then between him and Isaac to take their opportunities when they're there, and then to come in through the midfield, through the middle of the quarter, I thought he also had some damaging moments as well.
Did Nick Blakey have a sore shoulder? Is
Yeah, no, it's just an AC joint. Yeah, no, he's fine. He's good to go. Yeah, he just got a knock and stayed down for a bit, but yeah, he's fine.
Kuno and Sarong for next week, what sort of chance are they?
Yeah, they're big chances. You know, I think it just fell a little bit short with the main training session we had on Thursday. They couldn't quite get up for that. So it's about trying to make sure that, you know, one thing we want to make is our players, when they're available, they're ready to perform, not just be available. So we'll go through our session on Monday and Wednesday before Friday night, but yeah, hopefully they're available.
Would you be happy for Scott Pendlebury to break the record against you guys next week? Or?
I'd expect, or we're expecting, once we get into Collingwood and the opposition, we'll be expecting him to play. Until we find out he won't or will, well, we'll prepare like he will play.
Would you actually like that to happen? It'd be a pretty big occasion, wouldn't it?
Oh, it's, you know, I think what Scott's done over his whole career has been exceptional. You know, for not only the Collingwood Football Club, but for the AFL in general, and to see him play the way he's playing at, you know, his age and the games that he has played, he's an absolute superstar of our game and should be honoured as well as he possibly can.
Did you make anything of Papley's scuffle I think, in the middle part of the game there? He's such a lively, energetic player. Do you ever sort of try and hold him back a bit?
I'm not a fan when then he gets up and for the next couple of minutes he's standing in the same spot trying to get his breath back. I think Paps wears his heart on his sleeve. I'm fine with him doing that within the rules, but then on top of that is the excessive stuff. We want him playing good two-way footy, not standing there gassed from wrestling.
Just on your key forwards, if Charlie Kuno gets up next Friday night, how do you fit him in on the back what Hayden Clan's done today? Is it pretty hard to squeeze out? Yeah, that'll be something that we look at. And I think also a lot of people, you know, they look at what's right in front of them, which is the next week, which is important. But one thing we need to make sure is that, you know, we've got players available for the duration of the season. And if they do end up getting squeezed out at some time, we've had that happen throughout the year, Harry Cunningham and Lewis Melican at times. If that happens, you know, their role is to fight their way back in. And then when we give them the opportunity, they take it. So, yeah, it'd be something we'll speak about throughout the week about what that looks like.
Dean, just this time last year, it was a different looking season. You must be a sense of pride in the way you guys have been able to turn it around, and now you're sitting on top of the ladder a fair few games into the season. You must be sitting there pretty proud, but yeah, is that how you feeling?
I don't know if you can be proud or, you know, get caught up in where you sit as a coach. One thing I say to the players is you need to enjoy the wins and the moments that are great in football seasons, because they're hard to get. You know, I think for a playing group and for a club, you know, and as a coach, we let everyone down last year with the way we performed for the duration of the season. And you know, the players' credit, they've come back hungry and want to improve on that. And knowing that there's still a lot of work to be done, there's still a long season to go. But at the moment, we've put ourselves in a position we have to keep performing like that. All good. Thanks very much for that. Thanks, guys.